Hi again folks, how yous all doing? This is a Bachmann Class 108 DMU that was sent to me by David. He told me he bought this for his son, but it doesn't run in either direction, but the motor spins. Let's turn on the power and see what happens. Yeah, that sounds like something is split and is loose or has become detached completely. Not good. Let's shove it into the shed and we'll have a wee look. Okay then, a Bachmann Class 108. I like my DMUs, and this is quite a nice looking model actually. You can just see there that the pickups make contact with that circuit board. Like that. Don't really much like that. I should say that I've got the unpowered bogie as well. This is, what's the model number? 32902. So, interested to see what's up with this. We've got a screw in the front there. I don't see any other screws. So we'll undo that and see what happens. Need to get some cocktail sticks into this. There we go. Rightio. So we've got contacts for lights there. They're a bit bent. Sort those. We've got an 8-pin DCC socket with a blanking plate. And the motor is hidden in here, so I'll need to get this off. We've got 4 screws and a screw there, which is probably holding the bogie in. This looks to be a slightly older model, so I'm hoping that if it needs any replacement parts, that Bachmann have them. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Now, it comes off, and there is the motor. And yeah, the little drive shaft has popped out. That's all it is. Now we've fallen down into the bogie. There it is. It's just popped out. That's going to be fun and games to get back in. I mean, at least with this there's no wires, so there's something to be said for those contacts, but they could be prone to failure. But yeah, compared to some diesel models I've taken the bogies out of, this is relatively easy. It's very, yeah, it needs a good clean though. Some serious fluffage in here. So it's needing a good clean out. Get that off. Yeah, it needs some fresh lubrication. So it badly needs a service. But at least nothing appears to be broken. So that's a relief. Gear out, that all looks fine once it's cleaned up. I'd like to be able to get these axles out to get this just unclips. There, quite easy. There's all the gears. These will just lift out, like so. So I can give them a good clean. Wow. Yeah. Serious fluffage. I think this has been running the old carpets. It'll take me a bit of time to clean these out. Let's get the manky brush onto this. Let's give this a scoosh. I've just noticed that on the bearings there's this grooved section, and that's for the pickup. So the pickups sit in that little groove. So actually, even though I didn't like the look of this to begin with, it's actually quite clever. Not having wires is good. Having a means to keep the pickups in place is good. Having bearings is good. We'll just give the wheels a bit of a clean when we're at it. There we go, there's that one done. Now this one. Right, okay. Wheels cleaned. All that dirt came out of the axles. Right, I'll give this a scoosh. It doesn't look too bad, but it certainly needs some fresh lubrication. I'll give these pickups a clean. Gearbox isn't actually too bad. It could do with some bit of fresh grease or something, I think. Put a big dollop of silicone grease in there. Then we'll try and fit these back in. So we've got to engage the pickups into those little slots. There you go. So I'll get a wee bit fresh oil into these bearings. Oil into the bearings on the worm gear. Pop that back in there. And we'll get some grease on it. And a wee touch of gear oil as well. Clips on like that. That'll clip on like that. Okie dokie. Right, clean my fingers. So, I mean, it'd be very easy to put that in like that, but how is it easy is it going to be with this in position? That goes in like that. I think that'll work okay. Right. Here we go. But I don't think it's going to be as hard as I thought. Get it into there. Get it into there. And then just pop that there. And Bob's your auntie. See if this goes on the test track. Okay, turn on the power. Oh, it's away the wrong way. Yeah, the polarity's wrong. I think somebody's been in here having a jiggery faff. So yeah, the polarity's wrong. There's no wires, so I think somebody must have been in here and they've got the motor turned round. So I'll need to open this up again and turn the motor around. Not too big a deal. It would have been much worse, but it's relatively easy to take apart compared to modern diesel models with all the little clips and little wires and plugs. I like not having any wires. I think it shows a bit of ingenuity in the design. But that would explain why the drive shaft was out. I think somebody's had this motor out, or maybe the motor was burnt out and they've tried to fit the new motor and they got it the wrong way round. and they didn't engage the drive shaft when they fitted the motor, and then gave up. Right, pop that in there. So, yeah, I think this just lifts out like so. So it wants to go that way. Snap it back in. While we're at it, actually, we'll give it a wee bit of lubrication in there, and a wee bit of lubrication in there. So these contacts here make contact with the motor brushes. So swapping the motor around should reverse the polarity. Right, okay. Right, see if this runs in the correct direction. Right, turn it on. There we go. So looking at the other bogie, there's a little bit of fluffage to get rid of. And the axles are starting to split a little, just there. So put a wee spot of glue on that just to stabilise it a bit, and we'll give it a wee clean up, and that'll be fine. I think this contact here has got itself a little bent. Straighten that up. So, right, so we'll clean up this bogie and we'll get this back together. We'll have a look at the unpowered car, but it's 8 o'clock. Come back to this tomorrow. Okay, so next day, let's get this sorted out. I've cleaned up the wheels on this bogie, added a wee spot of super glue to the axles just to stabilise them a bit. So yeah, we'll pop this back on. There's a nasty bit of glue spillage on these door windows, if you can see there. So I don't know if the window glass has come out and somebody's glued them back in, or if it came out the factory like that. If it came out the factory like that, that's pretty poor. I don't think so, actually. I think somebody's just got a bit heavy-handed with the glue. Right, okay. We'll pop this back on gently. I think that's us. Pop that wee screw in. And that is the power car sorted out. Let's just give it a quick check on the test track. It's a very nice runner, actually. But there we go, that's the power car sorted. So we'll have a look at the unpowered car. There's pickups on all the wheels. The wheels need a bit of a clean. The axles look okay. Oh no, there's a wee bit of splitting going on as well. Oh. I could hear something rattling about in here, and it's a blanking plate. So there's a loose 8-pin blanking plate rattling about in there. There's where it should go. There's a socket at the back. So we'll need to get this open, get that blanking plate plugged back in. We screw out, and then this is going to probably need cocktail sticks again, but we'll see. No, this is coming out easier. There we go. So yeah, we've got bent contacts again. Ooh, that one might be broken actually. Yeah, it is. Needs soldered. We screw there, takes that out. So yeah, that needs soldered onto there. Rinse that. Put this blanking plate in. Like so. Pop this back on. Okie dokie. Well, at least the blanking plate isn't rattling about in there anymore. So turn on the power, and there we go, the lighting's working. And it's directional. So, as I did with the power car, we'll give the wheels a clean, and then we'll get a wee spot of glue on these axles. Just work some super glue into the cracks on the axles. Okay then, final test run. It's pulling about 100 milliamps. So there we are, that's this Class 108 sorted out. Let's pull it out of the shed. There we are then, that's this Bachmann Class 108 sorted out and running really nicely. So the reason it wasn't running was because the drive shaft had popped out of the motor, or perhaps whoever was in there before hadn't been able to reassemble it. The motor was in the wrong way round, so yeah, this has definitely been subjected to some jiggery faffery. Also, it was really dirty and suffering from a bad case of carpetitis. The dummy car needed the blanking plate plugged back in as it was loose and rattling about amongst the passengers, but really, all in all, this was a pretty easy model to work on, no wires. And although I was initially a bit put off by the way the pickups make contact with the motor, it works very well and it's going to be pretty reliable, I think. I like the way the pickups are held in place on the axles by the little guides, and yeah, the end result is a very nice running DMU. If this was mine, I'd change the couplings for magnetics and get the two cars closer coupled. But yeah, a very nice Class 108 DMU. I shall get it packed up and sent back to David, and I'll catch you later, folks.